Sorcerer is the story of four hardened criminals who are trying to navigate 218 miles of incredibly dense jungle with two payloads of highly volatile dynamite that is set to explode at even the smallest knock or bump. Our four protagonists all are here for different reasons, all for different crimes. One for an assassination, another for a political bombing, one a Parisian banker who's committed fraud, and the fourth a New Jersey teamster played by Roy Scheider. All have arrived at this South American jungle village to escape their past and hopefully forge a new future when this unique opportunity comes up to transport this sweating volatile dynamite across the jungle. All four jump at the opportunity for the hopes of some cash in the future, and that's our movie. It is a high wire, hard knock thriller that is so tense and so suspenseful, mostly in part due to its production. William Friedkin, director of the film, directed The French Connection in 1971 with Gene Hackman, wins 5 Academy Awards. Just 2 years later, Friedkin directs The Exorcist and changes the way horror cinema is shaped forever. After that, he gets his dream film and he chooses to adapt The Wages of Fear, a 1950s novel that I think was made into a film back then. He adapts it direct and he goes out to the jungle, 5 countries, 3 continents, most in the Dominican Republic, to film Sorcerer with Roy Scheider, who was the star of Jaws just a couple years before, Steven Spielberg's film. It seems like it's going to be a hit. It seems like it's going to be the greatest film to ever come out, but it's a confusing title. It's split between 2 studios who funded it, and unfortunately it comes out the very same week Star Wars hits theaters, the original Star Wars, and it gets absolutely buried, falls between the couch cushions of history, and everybody thinks Sorcerer is a failure. That is, until just a few years ago, when there begins to be some hubbub on the internet about, hey, this William Friedkin film not a lot of people saw. So people come back around on it, Criterion picks it up, and Sorcerer comes to us in this wonderful collection that's now available on Blu-ray and 4K. Andy came over and watched it with me. I picked it up in the recent sale. I have talked about this way too much. Andy, what did you think of Sorcerer?
So overall, man, this movie is really great, but it's structured very strangely. It's one of these things that it's based on a French novel, and it was made into a French film in 1953. This is not a remake of the film, but it's an adaptation of the novel, essentially. But it's so deep, and there's so much meat on the bone. Like it has this Heart of Darkness quality to it, this Apocalypse Now thing, where you have these 4 men in the jungle, and they're just going deeper and deeper, and more dangerous. They're all seeking redemption. There's a lot in there, but it takes us a while to get to that premise. I knew about this movie, and I knew that the premise was that these men have to drive, unstable dynamite through the jungle. It was the premise I knew. It takes us almost an hour to get there because it starts with backstories of our 4 characters, in kind of how they each get involved in illegal activity, and then that's what drives them to South America. So it takes forever for that premise to happen, and it's almost like this should have been changed up the order and have the backstories be maybe in the middle of the movie. Also, a lot of it is in different languages. It starts off in, I think Hebrew, moves to French, moves to Spanish, and Zach was telling me that they had to announce that, hey, the movie is actually in English eventually. Please stay in and watch it. So it's a little bit. It drags in the beginning, but where it goes, I think, is really thrilling because you have these incredible sequences of these trucks, which are in terrible condition. They've had to throw them together from lots of vehicles and just try and get them across this very terrifying terrain, bad roads, mudslides, rain, wooden bridges. It's a terrifying ordeal, and you have these 4 men that are kind of trying to change their fate. They're all essentially dead men walking. They're condemned by their actions within one's crime or another. So there's a lot in this movie, and it's a shame it didn't take off in its time.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a movie maker's movie, right? Because the story of how Sorcerer got here is almost as interesting as the actual film. Friedkin, like I said at the top of our summary, shoots French Connection and Exorcist. He can do whatever he wants. He's like, I'm going to do Sorcerer, and it's going to be amazing. And he takes 2 years shooting out in the damn jungle. Like Andy said, Apocalypse Now, Francis Ford Coppola, which is a nightmare to shoot. Aguirre, The Wrath of God from Werner Herzog, right? Absolute nightmare to shoot in the jungle. This is one of those movies. Like, just everything goes wrong. People get malaria. Steve McQueen drops out, so you got to get Roy Scheider in there. Like, just nothing is coming together to make this movie. It costs so much money that Paramount and Universal both signed on and essentially split the bill, which is insane now, would never happen. Like, this is the kind of thing in the 70s. They were like, well, it's Friedkin. Like, he's a winner, right? French Connection, Exorcist. Like, it's going to be great. Friedkin loved the edit. This is going to be a great picture. Like, it's going to work out so good. And he's got this great story on the Criterion of it finally comes out in theaters. And he walks down his long LA driveway, picks up the morning paper and like flips to the review section, like from his favorite LA film critic. And the headline's like, what went wrong? How is Sorcerer a failure? And he's like stunned, standing in his driveway, like, what do you mean? Like, nobody likes it? He couldn't believe people weren't into this movie. And watching it now, it's hard to believe they weren't either. But like Andy said, A, it comes out next to Star Wars. B, you got 2 studios that are funding it, and arguably neither knew which one was supposed to market it. So no one pushes big marketing. The first 10 or 15 minutes are all foreign language. They had to put out a poster that was like, we promise it's in English. Go see Sorcerer. Like, people are looking at this like 77, like, what the hell? And most notably, and this may be the thing that hurts it the most, the title. Sorcerer is not a real direct anything in this movie. You can watch it and find out what it's related to, but it's obscure. I was watching Tarantino talk about it for just a couple minutes on YouTube in an interview a while ago. He said they probably should have just called it Dynamite. And it probably would have done way better than this movie did, right? Because that's kind of our central plot device, is this sweating dynamite. But outside of that, you're right. It takes an hour, half the runtime, to actually get to the premise most people know. The thing is, that first hour is solid, dog. There are huge explosions, assassinations. There's guns
so
going on.
Many explosions in this movie.
Like, there are corpses, there's car wrecks, there's all kinds of insane stuff lining up these 4 protagonists to get out there to the jungle. And the idea of having 4 villains essentially leading your movie and being pushed to the absolute brink of the human condition in a desperate attempt to try to escape the very fates they've aligned for themselves is fascinating. Like, Friedkin does it with such big visual flair, huge explosions, big long camera lenses, like tons of stuff from Exorcist, French Connection. All these foundational elements come in to make a truly harrowing, nail-biting thriller. There are sequences, Andy and I were sitting on the couch watching this movie thinking, how did they even film this? How could you possibly do this in any sort of safe fashion? Like, it ends up being a grisly, dirty trek through the jungle that is so tough and so challenging. You end up feeling pretty fantastic on the other side of it.
The stuff through the jungle is really harrowing and incredible to think of. I did read that they used a lot of life-size models of the truck, so they didn't really have the truck on like the shaky bridge, but still, I mean, the actors are out there getting poured on in the rain and just like are wet and gross and probably avoiding malaria the whole time. And there's so many explosions in this movie. Every time I thought we were done exploding things, like, nope, just keeps going. There's got to be like 10, if not more. Our 4 criminal characters. We meet our first person in the middle of an assassination. Another one is a political bombing. Another one is a bank man who is defrauded someone he's afraid of, maybe gangsters. And then Roy Scheider's character is actually recently robbed a church that it happens a gangster runs or controls, and so that's how he kind of gets mixed in all this too. And there's car chases and car crashes, and this is back when if you wanted fire, you had to set stuff on fire. If you wanted an explosion, you had to blow stuff up, and they do that all throughout this movie. So there is a lot of action. It is a little bit disjunct, though, because it doesn't really explain how these men come together until you're about an hour into the film.
Yeah, I think your structure is the biggest hurdle in the movie, actually watching it. Yeah, it just feels like it takes so long to get there. The locations are so authentic. Again, five countries, 3 different continents. When we're in Paris, we're shooting in Paris. When we're in New Jersey, we're shooting in New Jersey. When we're in Jerusalem, we're shooting in Jerusalem, which is where it's so insane to see huge practical explosions going off. It is amazing nobody died making this movie. It is incredible nobody died making this movie. Like pillars of fire in the desert, right? Like crates of dynamite exploding, like just huge visuals for 77. And it bombed and tanked and fell between the couch cushions and nobody went and saw it. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy looking at it now that this movie didn't do better. It's crazy that we managed to unearth it on the Criterion Collection and now we have something particularly special. It's nuts. Just before the podcast, I was looking for something to promote. Somebody posted on YouTube. The whole damn thing is on YouTube. You can go watch it right now. Like, it's nuts, dude, that like this little movie from an incredible director just kind of fell under everything else. And notably, so many studios stopped doing projects like this after Sorcerer failed. They said, hey, we need to go with the safe summer blockbusters. We're going with the big scripts. We're not giving any William Friedkins any blank checks anymore, all right? They got to earn them. One for them and one for us. That's how we're going to do this from now on. Like, Sorcerer helped shape the way movies are made now. And it just almost got lost to time until this incredible like restoration, which has been such a treat to revisit.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of goes in cycles with we're going to let an auteur do whatever he wants, and then that works for a little bit, and then it inevitably has a bomb, and then the studios pull back, and then we kind of go through it again. Right now, people like Christopher Nolan gets blank check or carte blanche rather, and he hasn't had a bomb or a failure really ever. I really don't think so. But if he did have one, then that would, dramatically change the kind of deal he gets next. And we've seen, things like Netflix and Apple were cutting blank checks to directors early on. The Irishman was like a 200 and some odd or more expensive thing, incredibly expensive movie. And now those studios have actually pulled back on that kind of spending, and they're looking to just spend more efficiently or more traditionally. So it comes in these kind of strange cycles.
Yeah, it really does. Like, incredible soundtrack. I was going to say I forgot the name of them.
Tangerine Dream.
Dude, the soundtrack rips to Sorcerer. Like, I didn't think, it kind of spins up, and at first I was like, yeah, okay, a little bit of synth. By the end of the movie, I was like, dude, I got to go check this on Spotify. Like, just a movie that is so clean and so original, even though it's obviously an adaptation, but like, it just feels like it comes from a place of something clever. You can see what it's inspired. The Sweating Dynamite inspired Lost, right? And Lindelof wrote that into that show. Like, I don't know. I think this movie is real clever and real good, and I'm really glad we got to watch it. Any other thoughts or recommendations, Andy?
I think I'm ready.
Andy, would you recommend Sorcerer?
It's definitely for those that love bold cinema and for the tours. It's an incredible story and lots of action. It is a little slow in the beginning to get to our premise, but once it gets there, it really takes a hold of you, and you're just like waiting for these men not to survive at every turn. And like I said, it's got a heart of darkness thing going on, diving deeper and deeper into this jungle. Will these men escape? Can they find redemption? Who knows? But I would recommend for people who love bold cinema.
Yeah, same. Sorcerer Rocks would recommend. Or for bold cinema lovers and for maybe throwback nostalgia. Like, I thought my dad might like this movie pretty good. Like, between the action and the explosion, I'm like, he'd probably have a great time watching this movie. Like, especially once it finally gets on the wheels and we're moving our trucks through the jungle and stuff starts to really happen. Incredible bridge sequence at the end. That's, I think, the promo image everybody might be familiar with if you've seen anything from this movie. Sorcerer rips. It's on Criterion. You can probably pick it up at 50% off sale next time it comes around. I got the Blu-ray because that's what happened to be in stock. I regret not getting the 4K. You should if you can. I know it's got HDR, but those explosions look incredible in it. But for what's here, the Blu-ray looks awesome. Mastered from 4K. Check out Sorcerer. You won't be disappointed.